What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late, but and I gave you guys a shorter intro because since I was running late, went ahead and shortened up. So gave you my short pirate intro. But thank you for joining the show. If you've not watched the show before, what we do is I'll talk about streaming things that impact your streaming pleasures and your enjoyment of the content that you're trying to watch, trying to save some money. We'll also talk a little tech talk. We'll also talk about movies and Hollywood because that impacts our entertainment. So I jump around. I also threw out some invites to people that may jump in the show. So we'll see who comes on. Just great to have you. I will not have Albin on the show today. Albin was unable to come on. He was feeling under the weather. So thoughts and prayers to my brother out there, Albin. Thoughts and prayers out to you, man. I hope you get to feeling better. And I'm sure he's watching and he's probably saying, Dabs isn't going to have little banners ready for today because that's normally what Albin does. So I don't have banners. You're going to have any of the information down below for any links that we talk about. And we do have our first special guest, which is Shazam. What's up, Shazam?
How you doing?
Thank you for joining us, Shazam. And we'll talk about maybe we'll talk about your add-on here in a little bit if you want. But it's awesome to have a new special guest. I've put out some invites to other folks, so hopefully everybody can, if they're able to, can jump on the show and we'll talk about whatever. Hey, Shazam, let me say hi to the folks that jumped in on our live chat before we get started. Steve's in with us, and Judd Neck, thank you for joining us. Eddie's hanging with us, and Bama Fan, Nookie is with us. Red is hanging with us, as always. And again, this show is simulcasted directly right now onto big screen. So if you have an Oculus and big screen, the application on your Oculus, tune in and you can see me and Shazam in all of our greatness on a gigantic screen. So thanks to Beach for putting it out there. We say hi to 619, always watching us. Leon's always hanging with us. Nice to see Leon. Nice to see him hanging with us. Who else we got? We got Trevor. Trevor always watching us. Thank you for hanging with us, Trevor. And Miss Honeybee. What's up, Honeybee? And hey, sorry, I did fix it to where I'm not talking triple talk. People in the side chat, they was like, well, I had three things. So I fixed that. So it's just going to be Dabs talking on the side chat. We got Skulls hang with us. Thank you for hanging with us. Paul's with us. Stuart, thank you for hanging with us. Jim, thank you. Dimitri and Jason. So awesome. It is great to see all of our regulars hanging with us. I mean, it's an honor to have people taking time out of their busy day to watch the show live, even though I talk too damn much. So, Shazam, how are you doing? Thank you for jumping in on the show. And I've actually installed your add-on into my latest update. I pushed an update just a couple days ago and actually put Shazam in there.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Very kind of you. And thank you for the invite to the actual show.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have people on and great to have it. So Shazam add-on, it's been out for a couple, 2 weeks now, 3 weeks?
I think it's 3 weeks, maybe 4. Was it?
Okay.
I'm trying to think now. Was it? It was actually before Christmas, wasn't it?
Feels like it.
Yeah, I think it was before Christmas. I think it was like a week or a week and a half before Christmas when I actually did release it.
Yeah. And that in Shazam being an add-on, new add-ons, and it's a video add-on, and it's an Exodus base. Am I correct on that? It was a
Yeah, it's an Exodus base, and like you say, I've got to give credit to the other people out there that has actually kept that base going. The Exodus base. I can't take every credit. I just done my spin on it and my bit of work on it. All credit goes to the other devs out there that have kept it alive.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. That's been abandoned. What? It's got to be 5 or 6 years ago that Exodus was truly abandoned, and then other people, kind of everybody, like you said, different people jumping in and keeping and things going on it.
Yeah, yeah. Modifying PYs and everything like that.
And scrapers. People
Yeah, and
happen to
scrapers.
people happen to fix the scrapers because,
Yeah.
again, with being a scraper add-on, that is the main part. Well, not the main part, but it's a very important part to keeping all those things going. So
Yeah, it's like I say, the main thing I wanted to actually do is, like you say, is incorporate the one click.
mhm.
That was
And it has
my
a very large. There's an extensive one-click section, and people that now we got 50 people who are probably 50 people that follow us and understand what one click. But if you're not a person that understands what one click is if you click on a particular content, it automatically plays. Well, you don't have to go through the whole scraping process and pick a link, this and that. It is and it would be real debrid. They would need real debrid.
yes,
Okay.
they will need real debris. There is a free movies section though,
Yeah, I saw that.
so there is that. But to
Yeah.
do a free TV show, it's just too much. It's just
Yeah.
too much to do a free.
Yeah. There's too many episodes, too many
Yeah,
shows.
yes, and like you say, I know there is a debrid section that does TV shows,
Mhm.
which is a lot of work, and that's the other thing is finding the time to do it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because
And
people doing one clicks, I don't think I don't think a lot of the n- end users understand the work that goes into a one click list. Uh,
no,
I mean, it's very time consuming, and you got to stay vigilant. You got to stay vigilant, vigilant. If I can say
vigilant.
it, vigilant. If I can talk
You
right.
got to be vigilant, and like
Yeah,
you say,
because
you got to
if
be
you fall
vigilant,
behind, if you fall
constant.
behind, yeah, you're
Yeah,
screwed.
yeah.
It's a neat. Um, let's see. I see. Hold on a second. I had a question here. I saw EA. EA. I can. If you hit me up on Telegram, I can try to reach out to AA. I have not seen him, or I don't say see him. I haven't talked to him in a bit, so I can message him and maybe I can get to him. I don't know. He doesn't come on Telegram a lot. He was very busy with his own personal life, things that were going on with his job and stuff like that. So hit me up on Telegram. I can try to reach out to him, and if I can try to connect y'all. But no promises because he's not. I don't see him in a lot of the rooms. So sorry. I just wanted to make sure to answer that question before it gets buried. So yeah, we were talking about one clicks are a lot of work.
Yes, yeah. A lot of time consuming because, like you say, a new TV show, you've got to do the XML work. You got to get the episode name. You got to get the summary. You got to get the
The art,
metadata.
the fan art,
You got to get
thumbnail.
the thumbnail, the fan art.
Then
So
then the link to where it's at.
yes,
It's just
yes,
for every show. So
yes,
people think, oh, I could do that. Well, yeah, sure. If you'd had like one or two shows, sure. But if you start figuring up, you like Desperate Housewives. Well, I like Desperate Housewives in Los Angeles or Atlanta, Georgia, or do you like the one in Salt Lake City, or do you want the one in Hollywood, or where the next thing you know, when people find one click, then they'll find what you're missing.
yeah.
Hey, you're missing this. I need you to get it.
Yeah, but you'll always get somebody who'll say, "Can you do this show?" And you have a look at it. And you go ahead, you have a look, and it's from, just for example, 2018 or 2019,
Okay.
and he's like 150 episodes, and it's like, huh? No,
It's only 150 episodes to
only
go get all that
150
stuff.
episodes to go and get all them 150 episodes, do all the work in the background on the XMLs or JSON, whatever you use, whatever format. And it's like, no, too much work. It's
Yeah.
too much time consuming.
Yeah. And if it's
People,
something if it's a show you don't care about, because first and foremost, an add-on is normally made for you to enjoy, to have the content that
Yes.
you want
Yeah. Yeah. It,
in a
it
way that works for you, not
yeah,
for everybody
it
else.
is. It is in one aspect, but
Hmm.
we all do try and mix it up.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
All the different add-on developers, we all do try and mix it up and try and do our own little sort of like niche areas.
Yep.
So everybody has got a good quality of choice
Yep.
in different add-ons. So it's like say you got Met TV. He does a lot of older stuff,
Oh, I
which
actually
is
added
which
that on
is
my last
awesome.
update.
And
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
say, use other people's add-ons as well. Chains. I think he used to
Yep.
do sort of like a lot of Doctor Who sort of like stuff at one point.
Well,
But
he
I'm
used to do a
going
lot of
back.
horror stuff too.
Yeah, a lot of
He used
horror.
to do the horror stuff.
I'm out of touch of what actually happens
It's because
within
you get
sort of
worried
like.
about your own. You get worried about your own projects. It's hard to keep track of everybody else's
Well,
projects.
I try and avoid what other people are doing.
Yeah. Okay.
I just
Fair enough.
concentrate on what I'm doing.
Fair enough.
That's
Oh,
what I've
hey, there's
always.
a question. James had a question. He says, "What add-on are we talking about?" We're kind of brief. We're kind of talking a little bit about the Shazam add-on, which is an Exodus-based add-on. So it has a scraper functionality. You can scrape with it, but it also has a one-click. And are you able to say where these are located? What repos, or do you want people to have to do a little research on that? I don't want to put you on the spot or name out people that may or may not want to be named. I'm careful. I don't want to step on toes.
Um, well, it's only available at the moment, from my knowledge, is in Narcissist repo. That's the only repo that I know
Okay.
that it's available in.
Well, unless somebody's
Um,
grabbed it and stuck it in another repo that which people do. People do go and grab
yeah,
add-ons
yeah,
and
yeah.
stick it in their own repo and be like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
got everything."
it could be in somebody else's repo, and I wouldn't even know
That's the only
because
official.
yeah, because I don't go checking other people's repos on what they've got in them. I never have, and I never will.
Yep.
Um, I'm trying to think now. It might be in the Shazam repo as well,
Okay.
because I'm trying to remember whether he actually messaged me and says, do I mind? Him adding it to his,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I can't
But we
remember whether I'm
but
sort of
it's
like.
definitely in the narcissist.
It's definitely a narcissist,
Definitely.
definitely.
So it's definitely in that repository. If you want to check it out again, it's an Exodus base uh, with a one-click section. It's going to have, and that's going to be when you go into the add-on. There's going to be Shazam will be at the top, and then movies. So the bottom stuff is going to be the scraper part, the
Yes,
Exodus
yeah,
parts. If you go
yeah,
into Shazam, then you're going to see another menu that will be your one-click stuff, and it had a
yeah,
documentary section, if I recall correctly, TV, movies,
yeah.
and a couple
Use
of
a
other things.
documentaries, use a stand up. And when you go into your movies, like you say, you got your movies by year as well in
Yep.
there. So it goes from, I think it's 2016 up till 2023.
Okay.
So, because I just had to push an update to
Okay.
add the 2023 sections to it.
Which there's only one movie because I was actually messing around with my build yesterday. There's one movie that's showing up in 2023, and that
Yeah,
is Menu. It's
yeah.
only because if you go into a lot of add-ons, you're only going to see that one, and that's
Well,
because
use three now.
oh, is it three? It was one
Yeah,
yesterday.
use
So it
three.
was Menu.
Yeah, yeah, because that's the only one officially that came out in the new year.
Yep.
Even though I think it was officially released in 2022,
Yeah.
but officially it's gone down as a 2023 because it didn't get released until 2023.
True. All right, I got you. I got you. One of the thing, Gal's got us on here. Lots of respect and hats off to everyone that puts in their knowledge time to share it. And again, people people do not have any understanding on the work that goes into maintaining and doing this stuff. So I have massive respect, even if it's an add-on I don't use. I got mad respect for whoever's doing the work, because 9 times out of 10, it is a lot of work that goes into it. So, massive respect. We got 502 John Doe says he's got a one-click build, and actually, I know that him and I have been talking because I actually recognize the thumbnail. So, what's up, John Doe? Got a new one-click build. Okay, sweet. I know that he was talking about that. Him and I, he was talking about getting a repo or setting it up in different things. So here's something better having your own repo instead of waiting for someone to push out updates. If that is, it can be true if you stay on top of the. Now, if you create the repo in a way that it's pulling from the official repos, you're going to be you can be okay with that. Now, if not, you've got to make sure to grab the most recent zip for whatever add-on you're talking about, dropping it in your repo. If you're doing it for yourself, it's really not a no harm, no foul. It's not a big deal. I know that a lot of people really don't like to be thrown into like what we used to call a super repo.
No,
You
no, no.
remember that, Shazam?
Yeah,
Because a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of times, so what the issue with super repos, most of the time, super repos was one repo, so you could add one repo to your build or your setup, and you could go there and it would have everything. But a lot of times, it would have an outdated version of whatever add-on you're doing. Uh,
Or
is- or
or
go ahead.
they'd bump the version number.
There you go again.
So it pull it from that repo instead of the official repo.
Yes, and so yes, you did find people that would bump up the version number. So let's say we're on version 1.0 with the Shazam add-on. Someone would put it in their repo and then they would call it 2.0. So any official updates to the Shazam 1.1, 1.2, whatever was updated, they wouldn't get it because the person's add-on had 2.0. Now, Cody 19 did help fix a lot of that problem when they made it to where that an add-on is married to a certain repository. So when we say repo, it's a repository. So it would be married to that repo until the end user changed what repository was pulled from. So, which was a great, I think, one of the best things of Cody 19. I think that was probably, in my mind, the best feature that they added to it, because you couldn't hijack an add-on, because before you could just bump the number like you said, and if they had that repository installed, it would automatically go to the higher number. Now, if you're married to repository A, B, even if it has a higher number, can't force
Nope.
its way in there. The end user has to say, "Yeah, I want repository number B." So it does help. TB, what's it? What's that? TB bins like yeah, or TD biz. So it'd be TB biz. So yeah, you can have your own, but I know that a lot of add-on developers don't like to be put into a super repo. I mean, I know that there's been tons of people bitching about that. What do you think, Shazam? I don't want to speak for devs around, but
Well, it doesn't happen as much anymore because, like you say, they fixed it in 19, so it didn't matter if it was in anybody else's repo. It'd only update from the official one that you actually installed it from.
mm-hmm.
So that problem has gone away. So you don't really get that anymore.
Yep, yep. Yeah, you're right. And so again, using the original repos, and I'll tell you, this is enough. So if you're a person that wants to do a build and you're wanting shortcuts, I'll give you. Here's what shortcut I use. So I download repositories. So I'll download this repository, that repository, the official repositories. I download their zip file. I have them on my PC. So when I am doing a build, I can wipe my K apps to the ground. I can make it a fresh install. Then I can grab those repository zips, install them. Then I go in and I tell it to refresh or to update the repository. So it will if the repository is updated, it will actually update to the latest version. Then I install the add-ons I want from the official repositories. So then my build always gets the updates from the official repositories, but it gives me a shortcut if that makes sense. I do that, and I don't know, for you, Shazam, but it works out really well for me to give me a shortcut.
I used to do that back in the day.
Back in the
I
day.
back in the day, I've probably still got a folder with loads and loads of obsolete repos on my desktop.
Oh yeah, I've got in my repository folder. Oh, there is a ton of ones that don't work no more. I mean, doesn't do any good.
Yeah,
So
folders that have got names.
Yeah,
broken, not working.
Yeah, they don't work no more. I mean, repository, when it goes down and it's gone, there's you really. But to me, it helps me to roll through quickly when I'm wanting to set up my build. I can do it. I see a few people kicking out some old names here. Shazam, we got people mentioning mashup. People talk about that mashup. People talk about Navi X, which Navi X on the early days was good, and then at the end it became almost like a mashup. It was a cluttered up cluster F of all kinds of stuff. I mean, it didn't work very well near the end, but the early days of Navi X, it was the great days. Beach mentions how is always a cluster F with Sports Devil back in the day when there would be 10 versions floating around. And this reminds me of TV1. Actually, I was talking to Beach yesterday about TV1. There's TV1 and there's TV11 and there's TV111. And, where they've taken 90% of TV1's the same, but they'll add one or two different things. And then it's like, oh, that ain't TV1 no more. That's TV1112. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, 90% of it's the same link. So, so yeah, every add-on developer most of them they all have a repo that they're being pulled from. So, and now, hey, shout out to TK. Hey, if he wants to jump on the show, my show is open to whoever wants to jump on. They can hit me up on Telegram.
What was that question? Every developer should have their own repo?
Yeah. Or otherwise they have to wait for the repo owner to update. Right. So if you're close to somebody that you can get the add-on, I think about if you think that some people, if you were creating an add-on and then you send it to Jim. I hope they don't Jim, and say, can you push this update? And maybe Jim's busy and he don't want to push it. So I can see what you mean with that, but I do know that some people, not everybody has a repository, but if they have people they trust that to push that update, it does happen. But it doesn't become that super repository. So
a lot of the time the update isn't a major update, so it's not where the update is actually fixing anything.
Right.
Majority of the time. So when you're passing it to somebody else to actually update for you, it's not a problem. You accept it, and you just do it when you've got the time. You don't push it. I just pass it on. I say, there you are.
And they'll get it.
Update it when you've got the time.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense. So, hey, we've been talking. I was going to mention. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started with some of the topics that we are actually talking about.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah, I didn't realize the time is slipping by.
Bit of an excitement for you. Bit of excitement for Shazam to actually jump on the famous The Butcher Show.
I don't know about all the famous part. It just thanks for jumping. I welcome everybody to jump on if you're creating a build or an add-on or you do some work and you want to share some of your knowledge. This is the platform. I mean, as long as you can articulate what you need to say, at least as good as I can. I mean, because sometimes I stumble around, but if you can come on and share some knowledge, that's what this show's about. To go back, ARB and myself, when we were talking about this show before we ever created this show, it was we wanted a platform for anybody to come on that was a creator or a person that was trying to create something, and they wanted to share what knowledge they have, because we're all just learning off other people.
Oh
And
yeah.
and that's all we wanted to do. And that was what this show was to be about, was who wants to come on. And early on, that did happen. I had a lot of people with a lot of add-ons that came on. But now people are a little more gun shy. People are careful about, because they're like, hey, I don't want to put my name out there. Which is all fair. So, all right. Can you share a sports URL? Odie, what I would suggest, if you would, share that in Streaming Matters, on a Streaming Matters Telegram group, because sometimes YouTube is not real happy with certain sports URLs that are shared within a side chat. And I don't want to get, we know that with, I walk a fine line with the old YouTube. Just be careful with that. Let's see here. 1 second. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm sorry, someone sent me a message. So, all right, we're going to talk about, we've had lots of people complaining and talking about some of the issues that they've been having. So let's go ahead and we're going to talk about some of the K app. And we've seen tons and tons of complaints about people that can't get certain add-ons to load all of a sudden with their PCs. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you some suggestions. I'm going to show you some things that you can do. Let me see if I can share, present. Let's see. Let's open that. All right. Let's see. Share my screen. There we go. No, not that one. This one. Allow. All right. So Shazam, we see that on the screen, bud?
Yep.
All right. So if you're having problems with some of your add-ons not working correctly, or all of a sudden stop working, especially on PCs. This is happening because Windows Defender has updated their definition list. And this gets updated very often. It's a virus list or a thing for a flag list, if you want to call it that. It is a list of things that Windows Defenders is looking for. And when they see that type of code or that certain definitions, they will flag it as potentially dangerous. Well, there is a number of add-ons that have been all of a sudden stopped working, and that comes from the obfuscating the code. And a lot of add-ons do this because they want to try to hide a URL to an XML or a URL to a final location to something, to make it to where that somebody can't come and grab their XMLs and throw them in one big add-on, which we've seen in the past. We've seen people do that. So a lot of add-on developers will base 64 or try to obfuscate the code so that if you open up an XML, you'll see a bunch of letters and numbers, letters and numbers, letters and numbers. That's all you'll see. And that's where it's been obfuscated, kind of hidden the code. Well, Windows now sees those obfuscations as potential issues. So what that means is that you could, even though the add-on you've been using, it has no malicious code in it, Windows sees it as a potential virus or a potential risk. So it's just part of their new definition. So this happened, I guess some people said it happened a couple months ago. I only noticed it because I updated my build. I don't know about you, Shazam. Do you know how long you've been hearing about this poking around?
2 weeks. It happened
Okay.
in the last. It happened in the last 2 weeks.
Okay. So I'll give you 2 suggestions on how to fix this. If you're running Android, you most likely don't have this problem. If you have this problem, it is your ISP that's blocking you, not your Windows Defender. But if you're running this off of a Windows device, and you're running Windows Defender, which is the antivirus firewall safety protocol, which most people do because it's automatically installed, this could possibly potentially stop you from using certain add-ons. They'll crash or it'll be empty when you try to open the add-on. So I'm going to walk you through a few options, 2 options on how you can fix this. So on the screen here, you're going to go down here to your Windows Security, which is like the little shield down here on the bottom. You're going to go to that. And when you go to that, you're going to go up here to the virus protection tab. All right, so we're going to go there. And then you're going to go down here to your virus and threat protection settings. And this is where you're basically your antivirus, Windows antivirus is turned on. And basically all we're going to do is turn it off. I went through this, and again, people are going to say, well, you have a potential to get a virus. Sure, you do if you're downloading certain content. But if you're using your PC as a media center that's for your K app, how much downloading are you really doing? So you can go in here where the real-time cloud protection, automatic sampling, submission, and I show you here, I turned them off. If you do this, your add-ons are going to work just fine. Okay. So some people may not be comfortable with this. Some people may, I don't want to turn off my antivirus. Okay. You don't want to turn off your antivirus. That's fine. The other option you have is down below. It has exclusions. So basically you're telling Windows, hey, I want you to protect me, but hey, don't worry about this particular exe. Don't worry about this particular application. I trust that application. So you can go into the exclusions, add and remove exclusions, and you'll come to this window. You will click the button for add exclusion, and you will have to go to the exe, not the shortcut on your desktop, but where it is installed. Also keep in mind that if you have something installed into your Windows, the C drive, it's also going to be in your, app data, Shazam. It's in your app data, your username is going to be C, your username, users, your username, app data, and then the app.
Then it'll be in Kodi add-ons.
Yes. So it will be in a couple different places if you have it installed into your C drive. If you're running as a portable, then the portable is going to be just on your computer, and it's just going to be there, and it's easily to give an exemption to that exe. So those are the 2 ways you can get around if you're running a Windows K app installation and you're doing it. So those are the 2 ways of doing it. So in Windows will occasionally, here's Red posts in here, add-ons will still work on the PC, but occasionally you get pop-ups for the viruses blocked. And again, obfuscated code, Windows sees that as a dangerous and a potentially dangerous thing, because it's like, what are you doing with that code? So you're hiding it, so we think you're doing something.
It actually sees it as a Trojan, and it's not a Trojan. It's like you say, it's an obfuscated file to protect the developer. Because sometimes it's got personal stuff in there, like API keys.
APIs, yep.
Yeah, it's got personal API keys in there, and you don't want other people going in there and grabbing that API. So that's why,
in their add-on.
And sticking it in there, because there's nothing stops them, because if they go to the correct, if they know what they're doing, if they go to the correct place and open a PY with Notepad++.
Yep.
And it'll actually state API key for whatever it is, TMDB, tracked. That's all. It will actually tell you what that API key is for, and nothing stops people, if it's not obfuscated, stops people from going in there. Obfuscating does protect you, but it's not protecting you completely because you can
No.
get around it.
Oh, you can get around it. You can
But
get around it.
you've got to know what you're doing to get around it.
It stops, and I think I posted, I think I wrote something. I said it stops the noobs and the rookies. The person that has no idea what they're doing, they're just kind of clicking.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna open this file. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
It stops those people.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop somebody that has some knowledge to know how to decrypt or to be able to see what that is.
Yes.
So it doesn't stop everybody, because some people say, "Oh, it doesn't stop nobody." Well, it does stop just your rookie people. It doesn't stop your people that know what they're doing. But again, we're seeing this, and you go to the Reddit threads. There's tons of your big add-ons that people are saying don't work anymore. It's because there's obfuscated code in there, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden it doesn't work. And I saw this when I was updating my build, and it wasn't the big add-on; it was another add-on, and I was like, "What's this not working?" And I know the developer of this. I'm like, "Why ain't this working?" It's been working. I used it just the other day on my Shield. And he says, "Oh, are you on your PC?" I was like, "Yeah." He says, "Oh, that's your Windows Defender." And I didn't know. And I went in and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Holy
Yeah.
shit, there it is." And
Yeah.
so, yes, this can happen.
There is another way you can
Okay.
actually
All right.
get it back working. If you can back up a couple of screens, Todd,
Okay.
go to your very
Yep.
first screen that you actually showed, your
Yeah.
first picture.
This one?
Right now, go to the next one.
I don't know if I had a next one. This was my very first
Yeah,
screen, bro.
go to the next picture. That's it. Now, if you can see in the not the highlighted white, but in the
Protection
blue,
history.
if you go into the protection history,
Oh, okay.
you will see in there that it has blocked it, and you can just do a drop down menu, and it'll give you an action button, and you can actually click that action button, and it will say allow, restore, or remove.
Okay.
So you can tell it to restore, and you can tell it to allow.
Okay.
So once
if you allow it, it will allow it
yes,
moving forward?
yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't do it that way. So, yeah, great. I can't, because
So
these are screenshots.
use 3 ways that you can actually
Okay.
stop Windows Defender from doing it.
So, into this protection history, we got this
Yeah,
screen here. Go into protection
because
history, and you'll see where it blocked it.
if you've already got it in there, the add-on in a build on your desktop or on your C drive,
Okay.
it'll be in that protection history where it's been blocked.
Okay.
So when you actually go to open it up and it doesn't, it gives you an error. You just go into that protection history and you click on the little arrow, and there'll be a drop down menu that will say allow, restore, or delete. So you can just tell it to allow, and it won't even bother you again.
Yep. That's right. You'll just go and click to allow it and restore. So it wouldn't be just restore. You'd have to hit allow, wouldn't you? Because restore puts it back. Allow would be saying
Yes.
moving forward, this is okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because sometimes it'll say it's blocked it, and sometimes it'll say it's moved it into quarantine.
Yes, I have seen. Because when I was messing around, I was like, "What the hell is this doing? And why is it in quarantine?" And I was like, "What?" So yeah, there's a couple ways of doing it, but a lot of people are thinking I've got a virus on my computer or something's happened.
Yeah,
And this is new. This is
yeah,
new to Windows Defender. It's a new definition. This
Yeah.
hasn't been around for a long time. That's why people said, "Well, I've used this add-on for like 2 years and it's not an issue." Well, that's because Windows Defenders now has this new definition that they're looking for. This new template that they're saying, "Oh, there's something wrong."
I'm sure the people that do the obfuscating, I'm sure they will sooner or later have a workaround where it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm sure, unless Windows realize that what they're doing is it's not a Trojan, it's not a virus.
Yeah, but I don't see Windows. I don't think Windows is gonna. Windows won't ease up on that.
No.
Windows sees it because Windows don't want you to be doing it anyway. So
yes, yeah. So, but like you say, I would just sort of allow it.
Yeah.
And don't worry, because it isn't a virus. It's not a Trojan. It's just where, like you say, a developer is trying to hide and protect
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah. Yeah.
that he
And
doesn't want other people.
to easily grab, because again, people that it's easy for some person that's let's say a one clicks, or there's one clicks, so you've done a whole bunch of work, you got these one clicks that are like you were
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
all this information, where the link, where this and this that, and you don't want someone just to come along and say, "Yeah, thank you very much for that
Mm,
6 months worth of work, I'll just grab that whole XML and stick it into someone
mm.
for something from me." uh,
Well, just for an example, in just Shazam, use probably 65 lines that give you a URL to an XML.
mhm.
And that's why it's been
Ooh.
obfuscated. That's why it's been protected.
Yeah. Yeah. And that makes sense. I mean, it's so don't worry about it. It's not a virus. I've given you some suggestions. And the only thing I will say that happened with my PC, and I don't know if this is normal, uh, so it got blocked. And then I had to actually remove some of I had to remove the add-on in some of the modules that went with the add-on and then reinstall it, and then it worked. Because even though I turned off my antivirus, it
Mm.
still wouldn't see it, because it was like somehow maybe it's still part of the list. I had to actually remove the add-on in their modules and then reinstall them, and it worked. Now I don't know if that happens for everybody, but it happened with me, and I did find the issue when I backed up my build on my PC, and then I sent it over. I sent it over to my Shield. I had the Shield wouldn't open that particular add-on. I was like,
Mm.
what the heck? So again, that can happen. I don't know why it happens, but it seems to happen on there on the PC that was creating the build. So I don't know. So again, those are, I know that that is a subject that I've seen tons of posts about,
Mm.
from Reddit to Facebook to Twitter.
It's like I say, it's the only problem with the it is Windows. It's fine on Android. It's fine on a Mac OS.
Mhm.
So it's just down to Windows Defender.
Yep, yep. So that's your workaround. Hopefully, that will answer some of those questions for people that are having some problems with their Windows setup. Okay,
Well,
so
it's like you
oh,
say, if people do, there's plenty of Telegram groups where people can drop in a message, and somebody will always help them and advise them on what to do.
yeah, yeah. Well, usually, yeah, usually it depends on. Don't ask in the middle of the night and expect somebody to jump and help you. It may not happen. Allow. All right, so I got another big thing here. I thought I would
Right?
mention,
Can I
and
just
this is yep.
can I just I'm just going to grab a cup of coffee.
All right,
So
yep,
I'll be back in so like
yep,
5-10 minutes.
yeah, bud. So again, we'll jump around about a lot of topics. So if you have a Samsung phone, there is some major issues that are happening in Australia, with people doing official updates. And I mean, this isn't somebody doing some hacks on their phone. This is official Samsung updates are bricking people's phones. It is locking their phones. Corrupting to where they will not boot. So I thought this was an interesting fact. It's something for you guys to keep in mind. It's supposedly it seems to be happening with the December January update that's supposed to introduce the one UI, that's with the Android 13. Uh, that's happening. That's coming out, and it seems to be a lot of people in Australia are having a problem. I mean, it was even on their news, and so what's happening is that it's updating, and then halfway through something becomes corrupt and it locks the phone enough that where people cannot access anything. They can't they can't do nothing. So they're taking it back to their stores, and the store has to actually do a factory reset. um, Now, interesting point. I have a Samsung phone. I have a Samsung 20, and I actually got the Android 13 update in December. So many of you in the US may already have your update and you're fine. But it is an issue, and Samsung is definitely looking into it. There's over 1,000 people that have had their phone bricked. They were in Australia. Um, I thought that this is an interesting, and it makes me think about Albin's always saying, protect your neck. Protect your neck, folks. We normally accept updates from, especially from the manufacturer of your phone. You accept updates without even thinking about it. But you may you can still accept those updates, but make sure you back up your stuff. Make sure that your photos are backed up to some type of cloud service or updates backed up to your a PC or a laptop. Back up those things that are important to you. Make sure your contacts are backed up someplace that you're able to access it if you have to reset your phone to day one. Make sure you're able to do it. If you have certain files or certain documents that you saved on your phone, make sure those are saved in a location that you're able to retrieve it if your phone should go blank and go down. So I put the link to this, y'all, and this is legitimate news. It was in the news there in Australia. And basically, they just said don't update your phones, and I'm not sure what the difference is with the Australian update compared to the update that a lot of us may or may not have already gotten. But protect yourself before you update. Make sure you back up those photos and those contacts. And if you're using a cloud-based contacts within your phone, but make sure you have those things because I had to reset my phone and I reset it last year and I lost some documents that I wanted that I should have backed up, and I lost a lot of photos that I should have backed up, and that was my own fault. So just be careful of that. There's people that are, the official update for Samsung is possibly could risk it. Um, Yep. So Viazil says, "Remember I told you it happened to me with your Note 20?" Yep. Yep. I remember that last year. Yep. So you just be smart. Again, more times than not, things are going to be run fine. But when they don't, it doesn't take but one time for something to don't go doesn't run right, and you say, "Mm." So all right. Another big Hollywood thing that I thought was kind of an interesting thing because I am a Marvel fan is Dave Bautista says he will not be doing any more movies as Drax after the next Guardian 3. He will not be doing any more things. He wants to be seen as more as a real actor. He wants uh, to explore what options, and he was just in the Glass Onion. So I don't know if you guys had watched that. So he's in more and more films. There was a film he's going to be. Let's see. Hold on a sec. Let me remember. So he's going to be in what's it? M Night Shyamalama Ding Dong. He's going to be in that for Knock at the Cabin. That's going to come out next month. The Guardians Volume 3 will be out in May. And then Dune Part 2, which is in November, he'll be in that. And he's hoping to be seen more as a real actor and not just seen as a character actor. And anybody that remembers him, he was a WWE wrestler. I mean, this guy kind of like the John Cena path they've taken, where they went from being characters as on WWE. All right, sorry for some of the people that when I call them characters on WWE. Sorry. I know that I'm probably going to get some heat later on. But so they've taken it and went to Hollywood. And some guys, John Cena's done a great job. I think The Rock has done a great job. Dwayne Johnson has done a great job with progressing his career as an actor. Dave wants the same thing. He wants to be seen as an actor, to be seen as more challenging roles and not just be kind of a side note joke. So once you see him in Guardians 3. We will not be seeing him in any MCU features moving forward. And I want to say, let's see here. What did I see on here? It says he was in 10 different films with MCU. I can't find it real quickly. I think it said 10. He was in 10 different yeah, it says let's see here. Exiting he swan song in it was 10 years in 7 different MCU projects. So just decided to move on, which is fair enough. Let's see. The other big thing that I thought, and we talked about this last week, is there's a little bit more information coming out about the NFL Sunday Ticket. For us football fans like myself, this is important to us, and the Sunday Ticket for the people that pay for Sunday Ticket. It has the contract with DirecTV is ending after this season, and YouTube has been lucky enough to bid enough to get it. So YouTube, they're saying that the cost is going to be about $300, which is what it costs you to have the Sunday Ticket with DirecTV. But you also had to have a DirecTV subscription, which would be on the low end $80 in we'll just go from there. So you not only had to pay for the Sunday tickets, you also had to pay for the subscription to have the satellite TV, which normally ties you into a 2-year contract. Uh, with YouTube owning it or having the rights to Sunday Ticket, we may find that there's that $300 threshold that they're sticking to. But you're not going to have to buy a 2-year contract with a YouTube or equipment to watch it through YouTube. So there's some pros to having YouTube have it. Also, another thing that YouTube has said that will happen is they're looking that you'll be able to sign up for certain teams. So you're going to be able to, let's say you're a Baltimore Ravens fan and you don't live in Baltimore, you live in Kansas City, but you want to see all of the Baltimore Ravens games. They're going to sell a package that you're going to be able to follow your team, whichever market they're in, and you're going to be able to watch that particular game. So again, if you're a major football fan, this is a big thing. You're going to be able to follow it. Here it talks about the DirecTV package is $150, $150 a month plus $80 a month for the satellite cable. So what's NFL season? Is that 4 months long? It's got to be. So September, October, November, December, and you go into January. So it's really 5. So I don't know if DirecTV got you for 5 months at $150 or how that works, but I think that it's going to give people a little bit more flexibility and not tie them into I've got to get DirecTV package on top of the NFL package. So it's being split up. So most likely, if I had to guess, YouTube is going to make you have to get that YouTube Live. So that's going to be $70 a month. Then you're going to have to pay for the $300 NFL ticket. But the plus to that is after NFL season's over, you can always cancel that YouTube Live. You can cancel it and go back to free YouTube. Whereas if you had DirecTV, if you signed a 2-year contract, you're paying for 2 years because of the equipment. So I don't know what's some of our folks over here. I mean, do you guys think? So you guys, what do you guys think about the for DirecTV versus YouTube having Sunday ticket? Because yeah, Beach, yeah, there's alternatives to paying $300. There definitely is alternatives. And Red says the same thing. Yeah, most of us have alternatives to those options. So what do you guys think? Do you think going to YouTube is a good thing, or sticking with they should have stuck with DirecTV? We'll go through some of these. M Night, yeah, I call him M Night Shyamalonga Ding Dong. And some of his movies can be really good, and then some of them just is like I shake my head. I'm like, "Oh, what? What are you doing here?" It's like he almost tries to mess with your head too much. It's like mess with it a little bit. Don't try to. It's like you trying too hard. Um, so so I was looking through. Yeah, Red says he likes his package better, which I can probably guess. Carl, the Loop, another really good option. There is definitely some good options in the K app. Not just a lot of times, I think with a lot of times people only know like the one big add-on that has some live sports. There's several other players in, or there's several other add-ons that you can get that live sports. The problem when you get if you long history as an add-on, more people use you, which can hinder you because more people are using you. So so yeah, the loop is another option, definitely. For and again, join us in our Streaming Matters room, and I can give you different options. I want to throw them out there. Let's see. Beach says, for those that want a legit, it is nice, a better option than DirecTV. YouTube is available on multiple devices. Yep. Yep. So there is definitely some more wiggle room to it. I like it better. I like the options better. And I know Shazam, you don't watch any
No,
NFL.
no. I don't watch no sport whatsoever. I'm not a sport person.
What?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I'll put me under. I'll probably watch NHL, and only when it's the actual Stanley Cup final, and NFL. I'll only watch that when it's the Super Bowl. That's it. It doesn't matter who's there. That's the only time I'll watch it.
Well, hey, since you just brought up NHL, I needed to bring up this fact because I actually had this saved as one of my bookmarks. In the IIJRJW, the Junior Worlds, Canada just won the gold medal. They beat Czechoslovakia yesterday after beating the U.S. the night before. So I know people up here in the Great White North mega excited when the juniors won the gold. And that was I ended up going into a shootout. Well, not a shootout. It was like an overtime. It was 3 versus 3, which I kind of like that better than a shootout. If you watch NHL when they do the shootout, they just like, one guy stands there or skates slowly and goes against the goalie. This was 3 versus 3, so it's faster pace. There's more going on, but you got to pass, defend. I liked it better. So it's a congratulations out to the Canada for winning this. So yeah, that was a shout out to our Canada folks up here. And there was a lot of people that were watching this. You don't know how many messages I got from people saying, "Hey, how can I watch the World Juniors? How can I watch the World Juniors?" I'm like, I don't know, and because not a lot of add-ons had it because it's not a major sport, but quite a few add-ons had yesterday's games and Thursdays. What's today's Friday? So Wednesday's game. So a couple add-ons had Wednesdays and Thursdays games. So great congratulations out to the to Canada's juniors for winning. And these are people under 19 years old or under 20, and some of them are in the NHL and some are in the OHL and stuff like that. But congratulations out to them.
The beach. No, I'm not his English cousin. No sports.
Yeah, we know how Mark hates. We know how Mark hates sports.
It's not the fact that I hate sport. It's just the fact I've never really been one to actually sit down and watch it.
Yeah,
that's the only reason. And like I say, I'll watch when it's big events. It's the same as boxing. I'll watch a big boxing event when it's a big major fight.
Yeah,
but it's same as UFC and MMA, and the only time I watch that is when it's a big major fight.
Yep.
I don't feel the need to actually watch it week in, week out, like a lot of people
Yeah, well,
do. A lot of people have a
I
team, and
like it.
a lot of people follow that team, and I just don't follow anybody.
Yep. Well, I was pulling up, now that you mentioned that, tomorrow or tonight. Hold on, let me share my screen on this one. So tonight we're going to have the Tough Man contest is going to be on. So this is going to be on tonight on pay-per-view. Tough Man contest out of West Virginia will be on tonight and tomorrow. So tonight is kind of like the prelims, and then tomorrow will be the I don't want to say they win a belt, but they win a check. And this is probably some of the best boxing you're ever going to watch if you don't like watching real boxing. If you are a boxing connoisseur, you are going to hate this because you're going to say these guys have no technique, these guys have no stamina, these guys have nothing. But if you're wanting to watch entertaining and want to laugh at some stuff, this is the stuff. You're going to see the trailer parks empty when these people and they're throwing haymaker after haymaker and they get gassed after about 45 seconds. And you'll see some crazy stuff there. And again, uh, props out to West Virginia, and you'll see some ring girls that you're not going to see in a normal pay per view. You're going to see it's different. So that's going to be a pay per view tonight, and that definitely I suggest people to if you have a pay per view option, you're going to want to take a look. It'll be on tonight and tomorrow. We'll probably be watching it on Oculus tonight. So, um, and some of these guys just they're 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 not athletes. They are not athletes in any way. And that what makes it fun. That makes it fun when they because there's things they say and they get gassed out and like most people would. I mean, we're so used to seeing athletes box and you see somebody box for 12 rounds. Honestly, a normal person, if you fight for 30 seconds, you're done. You can't move. A normal person can't fight with the adrenaline and all the stuff. You can't do it. But and that's when you see this kind of stuff. So shout out to made me think of when I saw Beach post that. So definitely you guys would take a look at that tonight. And I want to say before I forget, I think there's another I think there's a UFC fight tomorrow. And what the heck is this? They want you. Um where's this where's my search? I think there's a pay-per-view tomorrow. Events. There we go. I take that back. It's the 14th. So it's the 14th that we're having a event. So take a look at on the 14th. So that'd be next Saturday. There'll be a big event. So no boxing. I know that we're going to have some more NFL this weekend. I don't know about the old footy. Is there big footies going on this weekend? Well, I'm asking you. You don't even watch it.
I can answer that, could I?
Yeah, yeah.
Footy. What do you mean footy? Do
Footy. That's
you mean soccer? You
Yeah.
mean
Well,
soccer?
see,
You got to remember. People think I'm not English. I'm American.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I try to use the right words.
So it's soccer. I'm American,
Soccer.
so it's
Soccer.
soccer. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
Well, so we definitely have some NFL going on this weekend. Definitely some stuff going on for that. NHL NHL is going on. I know. Well, no, NBA is going on. So NHL is going on, and college basketball. So we got a few sports going on. Um, via Zell. If you want, you should get an Oculus. You could join us in big screen because we'll be watching it, and there's nothing funnier than sitting around with us in a Oculus making fun of the guys that are boxing. All right, HD Channel has a question for us here. Why does the K app on Google Chromecast with Google TV crash and not open sometimes? Only fixed is going into the app settings, clearing the cache in the app. I'll be honest, I don't use the K app on a Google Chromecast because that is a Chromecast is not a PC, it's not a laptop, and it's not Android. It's kind of its own little hybrid OS.
Yes,
Now,
it is.
some versions of Chromecast, depends on which version you have, will work with APKs. Am I right, Shazam?
Yeah. It all depends as well if he's getting it from the Google Chrome store.
Okay.
I would personally grab it straight from Kodi TV, Kodi.tv, and download it from there. That's where I would personally get it from, because they do support other platforms on their website, and Chromecast is probably one of the platforms they do support.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really looked. I'll have a quick look actually while I'm here. See what it actually does.
Oh, so I don't even have a Chromecast device. I mean, well, I do, but it's a work thing, which I can't. It's locked down. So.
Yeah, they support Raspberry Pi, Linux, Android, and Windows. That's it. And Mac. They support Mac. So.
So you could install it as an Android, though, then, right?
Yeah. I would say so. Because it's like you say, it's gone towards an APK, which you can do now with Windows. With Windows 11, you can actually install an APK on Windows 11, and it'll work.
Yeah.
But it might be just the fact they've actually getting it straight from.
Yeah,
the Chrome store.
It would also, wouldn't it be also, all right, so there's a couple things where I've seen some other people mention. I would think of which version of the K app you're using. Is it 32? Is it 32? Is it 64?
Yes.
There's two different versions. And I would probably lean towards the 32 more than the 64 if I was using it. And Jason wrote over here is he's running it, but he doesn't use a build. He's only using a couple add-ons. So that would, if you're going to use it on a Chromecast, you're going to want to maybe keep it as small as possible, not use a build that may be using a lot of scripts and add-ons that are not compatible with the Chromecast, because if you think about it, clearing the cache only really clears the user data folder, right? Isn't that what cache would be? Your thumbnails.
Well, you have to clear your thumbnails separate, don't you?
Right, but I'm thinking about if you went into the Chromecast and you hit clear cache, what's it clearing? So it's going to clear all your thumbnails, your packages. Is it going to clear your user data when you clear your cache? Or that would be clearing the...
No, it shouldn't do.
That'd be clearing the data. That'd be the data. So that it would make it a blank cache.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that there's probably a add-on that you're using in amongst your setup that is creating that paradox, that clash, and it's creating your problem. Nookie says, prefer the Chromecast with Google TV over a Fire Sticks now. Ooh, not really. And she also says, is the storage almost empty? So definitely, and this I actually was talking to one of my friends today about this. When your device is low on storage, I don't care what device you are, you can be using NVIDIA Shield. If you're running out of usable space, you're going to have issues. You're going to have crashes. You're going to have all kinds of problems, because the K app in any device needs room to move data on and data off. It's got to have that that extra space. When you get under a gig, I find that any device starts having issues. A gig of free space, you start having issues. So maybe, especially if you're saying clearing the cache, it makes it work. Maybe you're clearing enough room that all of a sudden now it works. That's, um, but because I know even with Fire Sticks, I mean shields, when you get low on space, you're gonna have problems. And people think, oh, well, I've got NVIDIA Shield. I'm telling you, I've got NVIDIA Shield, and when I've ran low on space, I started having crazy crashes and all kinds of things locking up. So
The best solution is to have a look on his Chromecast to see what he doesn't use, and then uninstall it. That'll free up more room, more memory. Anything that you don't need, you're not going to use, uninstall.
yeah, you're exactly right. And Jason said the same thing. It's a low memory device. If you have, you only have a couple gigs of free memory on it. So if you have too many apps and not enough memory, this is going to cause an issue. Like we're both saying here, you're going to end up with problems. So most likely it's a storage issue. And again, I was just dealing with somebody today with a Fire Stick at 4K, and they're like, "Oh, I don't have that many things." And this is all right. So I'm gonna talk bad about a Shield. I actually had my Shield, my 2019 Shield, started having low memory or low storage. And I was like, I don't know what. So I ended up removing anything that was extra. I got rid of this. I got rid of that. I even got rid of my Retro X, so I couldn't play my games. I had the K app, I had Plex, and then a couple other like basic things, your Amazon, Netflix. And I kept running into problems. I ended up having to factory reset because I could remove applications, but then whatever I removed, it would not show it as free space. So it was almost like it was my Shield was still seeing that as used. I had to factory reset my device. I installed all that stuff that I already had on it plus more, and right now I've got I think last time I looked,
Yep.
5 gigs of space
Mm.
because the OS got jacked up, and
Did
so
you
that
have
can
them?
happen.
Did you have that other stuff on an external hard drive?
No, no,
No,
no, because I
because
mean
I know some people.
my
I know,
ROMs,
I know some people will set the external hard drive and as the internal hard
adapted,
drive,
yeah, as they call it,
adaptive,
adapted. Yeah, I
and
wasn't running
mm,
adaptive.
and I know if you don't transfer them back to the Shield before you remove them, it keeps them there.
Yeah, it again with a factory reset fixed my problem because actually what had happened is somehow the OS, the operating system, got jacked up. If for you guys that have a PC, there's been times where your PC has gotten jacked up and just or your
Oh,
laptop, and you have to factory reset it. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, it runs so damn fast now.
I
The
don't
same thing
factory.
happens on your Androids. Yeah,
I
go
don't
ahead.
factory reset it. I don't factory reset it. I've always got a backup,
Oh
so I'll
well,
go back. I do a backup each week, so
and the backup.
I'll.
I don't have backups. Us normal people don't have a.
I always go to a backup if I come into any issues.
Yes, even when I cleared the data, because what was interesting, like RetroX, I'll use for example. RetroX takes about a gig because of the thumbnails. Even though my ROMs were on an external drive, the thumbnails would be on the device.
Yes.
So I went and I looked at RetroX, and this is before I reformatted or factory reset. And I looked, I'm like, oh, I got a gig or right about a gig. RetroX is taking that space. I'm like, well, I don't play my ROMs. I got my Raspberry Pi. It doesn't really matter. So I deleted it, rebooted my Shield, and I had no more space than what I had before I removed the RetroX off of it. And that was when I decided something's not right here. Something's rotten in Denmark. I gotta, and that was when I said, you know what? I'm gonna bite the bullet and reformat, factory reset. And I factory reset my Shield. And yeah, it was a pain to set some stuff back up. But you know what? Then it was running boom, boom, boom. It was just
Yeah.
so yeah, so it happens. It happens with Fire Sticks. It happens uh, with almost any device, especially because you think about it, you're using it. things going on, things are going off, your storage, taking stuff off, downloading thumbs, taking them off, download this, take it off, so.
Yeah, it all leaves traces, and like I
Yeah.
say,
Oh, yeah.
and that's what you got to try and get rid of is those traces. And sometimes you have to bite the bullet and do a factory reset.
Yeah.
I've done that a couple of times on my Shield, where I've had to do a factory reset.
Let's see. DCIM folder thumbnails and etc. can be stored. Problems in the Shield, I believe. And there is. I use Explore X or X Explorer, and I went through and went folder to folder to folder looking and removing, and even went into the DCIM folder, and there was nothing in there, and it was really weird. It was almost like the file system had become corrupted or had an issue, and ended up I had to do it. But after I did it on like a Saturday. So I had a Fire Stick if we had to use it. But you know what I did? First thing when I got up Saturday morning, I'm like, you know what? Factory reset, let it do its thing. I grabbed the few add-ons, and I had backups of the add-on in the build and that kind of stuff, so it was easy for me to set that back up. And by Saturday morning before noon, I was already 100%. My Shield was done, ready to go. Yeah, and I don't know, Just G. Sometimes some of those cleaning apps. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of times if we just keep maintenance, I don't like to install too many other little cleaning programs because I don't think all of them are doing everything that they say they're doing. And
personally, I don't use one.
Yeah, I don't use a lot of those cleaning programs. I don't, other than on my Wizard, I clean packages when I boot up. So anything that had installed prior deletes the package.
Even that, I'll do it manually on the PC.
Yeah.
I'll connect direct to my Shield and delete them manually from my PC.
Yeah.
I don't use anything to delete stuff. I'll do it all manually.
That's because some people have all kinds of knowledge. Us newbies don't have all that knowledge to be doing all that stuff.
It's just over the years, I just found it easier because, like you say, you've got another APK on your system to clean it up, which that APK is taking more room up to clean stuff up. Yeah. So I just look at the fact, no need for me to have that APK. I can do it manually. Anybody can do it manually because a lot of people have a file browser installed, so you can actually use the file browser. If you know where you're going with the file browser, you can do it all manually.
Yeah, you're right. You can.
You don't need a system cleaner or SD made or any of them. You don't need them. It's just another APK that's taking up room on your device to clear up room.
You're moving chairs around on the Titanic.
Yes.
Around.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and go eat I'm gonna eat my dinner. Shazam, anything you want to mention to the folks before we go?
No. Just everybody just enjoy it, and I enjoyed creating it. And like I say, everybody just enjoy it. It's there for anybody that wants to use it.
And it's in the Narcissist repo.
Yeah, it's in the Narcissist, and it might be in the Shazam repo.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure. It's like I said, I'm sure he did message me, but I can't remember.
Yeah,
I can't remember whether he actually did put it in there or not. I haven't checked, so.
And it's an Exodus fork, so you can install if you authorize your RD premiumized Aldebrid through Resolver, which a lot of add-ons use that. If you authorize to that, you're going to be authorized in Shazam.
Yes.
Shazam.
Yes, and you can do your tracked for it as well It
Oh
it
yeah.
has got its own tracked API. So if you connect, it will actually give you an icon.
Yep. Yep.
If you
And
do
it,
it for a web browser, it'll actually give you Shazam icon saying you're connecting to Shazam. So it
I
has
think
got
I
its
saw that.
own.
I
Yeah.
think I saw that when I was playing around with it, and I was like, oh, because it have its own little API.
Yes.
Because a lot of
So
times people use other people's APIs, and you'll
yeah,
know
yeah,
right when you do that, you'll know whose API they're using because it'll say it.
yeah, yeah. But it's got its own. It's got its own API keys and everything.
All right.
So
Well, thanks to you coming
and
on to the show. Yep.
yeah, and thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. It's
Oh,
been really
anytime.
really nice. Really nice. Well, this will probably be a one-off because I don't
Okay.
normally do shows. I don't normally do shows, so this
Well,
will probably be a one-off.
yeah, if you ever
It
want to
might,
come on the show again, you're more than welcome to Shazam us with some of your more work. And definitely check out the add-on. It works really well. Again, it has a one-click section as well as a scraper section, so you're going to be able to. It's got the best of both worlds in that aspect. So thank you, Leon. Thank you for that, and I will see you guys later. I don't know if I'll see you next week. I may have something going on next Friday. I will definitely let you know. But I really appreciate people coming and hanging out with us and hanging out with for an hour and a half. We still got 43 people watching us live. So I really appreciate it. And you guys hit us up on Telegram. And if you have an Oculus, check out Oculus Streamers Room. I have the Telegram room for that. And because we're going to be watching Tough Man tonight and laughing our ass off and maybe having a cold beverage. So we'll talk to y'all later. Streaming matters to us because streaming matters to you. See you later.